can use the application selector to switch to the contract management. The dashboards can be used to monitor the status of contracts and get more details. In general, we have three layers. So first one is the master contracts, which may contain some subordinated contracts. And below contracts, we have contract items, which are usually used for the procurements. And you can create contracts for any topic, could be hardware, software, or any other things like facility management services, for example. Contracts can be linked, so when I click on a master contract, I can see in the preview there are some subordinated contracts for the different topics and contract items used for the purchases, and finally the assets purchased from this master contract. Let's have a look at the details of a master contract. First of all, it's got an owner. So this owner can be used to steer the visibility. So not anybody is able to see the contract, only authorized persons. And a master contract has a contract number, maybe an external reference, contacts, internal and external contacts, and also an expected volume. What is really important is the start and end date of a contract. And if you want to be notified if a contract is about to expire or needs to be canceled, you can set multiple recipients for reminders. So these persons will automatically receive an email. Let's have a look at one email from the Thunderbird, which is installed on the test server desktop. And now we go to the inbox of Patricia Pauls. And we have one example here, contract item cancellation notice. So this will be automatically sent out if this contract item can be canceled. And we have a direct link to the contract item, so you don't need to search for the contract from the UI. You can also add documents to the contract. So first of all, you can document if you have paper documents somewhere in the comments. You can also use link comments, which reside on a UNC share somewhere. And you can also upload documents to the system. All the changes are documented in a journal. So if anything relevant changes, this is tracked and can be reviewed. You can search for contracts from this so-called grid view by keywords or by filtering for fields or by using the grouping feature, for example, grouping by status. And you can always go to the subordinated items by clicking on the items in the preview. Let's go to the client's contract, for example. Click on Edit to get a full screen view. And in here, we have an additional tab for procurement, where the procurement team can document the profit they gained. And now we move on to the contract item. Which will allow you to calculate the total amount, including tax, if you want to. You can also do a cost planning with cost plans. So for example, if you want a monthly cost projection, you can automatically create a cost plan, which can be used for internal cross-charging. You can also use bookings to charge those costs to the different accounts. This data can also be automatically exported to any financial system if you like. And last but not least, you can also document the deliveries and invoices for the items ordered and shipped. You can also visualize the costs in a graphical way. Let's have a look at a contract item, which is software related. Maintenance contract with SQL Server Enterprise. So we have payments here, and you can see the planned payments and the actual payments. And we also have a link to get to the master contract or the asset. In this case, the asset is a license. So one more click and I can see how many licenses I have and how many licenses have been consumed. Another approach for analyzing cost is from the master contract view, I right-click on a contract and select cost analysis. So I can compare the different years, planned cost, actual cost, deviation, and also for the different topics, like for example, printers. When I click here, I get an overview of just the printer cost, planned and actual cost. So I can check if I'm over or under spending. Let's create a new contract. First of all, I want to show you that we can also create volume license agreements. So we have templates for some major vendors in the system. Let's pick Acronis, for example. And title is Backup Software Contract, Business Partners Acronis. And now I just save this draft. It will automatically appear in the list view. So it's still draft. If I want to activate this contract, I can use the change status action. And if I try to set it to signed, the system will tell me that there's some essential data missing. So I need to go back and add information like contract number, effective date, and so on. So this automatically makes sure that the data is correct. There's also another approach for creating contracts, which is from a workflow. So this is an individual workflow we created in the task system. First of all, let's have a look how it works. So I switch to the administration application. In here, we have so-called compliance rules, which can automatically trigger actions if certain conditions are met. In this case, it's something contract related. This one here, this is the compliance rule I created, which will automatically monitor the contracts. And if there's a contract created and the type is leasing contract, so that's the condition, it will automatically start a workflow. Let's have a look at this workflow by clicking on Edit in Studio, which will open our Workflow Studio. So the workflow automatically reads the information from the contract with this object. So I can use any data from the contract in my workflow. And then it automatically creates a task for the legal team and waits till this task is finished. If the legal team rejects the contract, it's automatically closed. If the contract is fine from a legal point of view, it will the status will be switched and the release process will be initiated. And at the very end, there will be a text file export, for example, to pass on the data to external systems. So let's see what it looks like in the UI. So we go back to the contract management. I go to contracts and create a leasing contract. Type is leasing contract. Title is coffee machine leasing contract or whatever. Let's pick a business partner and save this contract. I deactivate the effective filter, so also the non-active contracts are displayed, and we can see the contract right here, still draft. And when I go to collaboration tasks, it's automatically creating this new task for the legal team They also get an email notification, of course. When they click on the link in the email, they will be automatically guided to this view. So they can have a look and see what they need to do. And the contract itself is linked in the Topics tab. So when I click here, I can check anything in the contract, including attachments. And then I go back and say, okay, a legal check is done. Click on Close. Okay. Which will close this task and automatically create the new task for the release management. And the contract status itself has also been automatically switched. It's now legally reviewed. So if I close the release task, it will automatically switch to active.